Good morning. How's my lovely YouTube people? I love you guys. Who no longer watch my show, and that's okay. I still talk to the ether. But anyway, so the party that my 10-year-old had was yesterday, and I think it helped the fact that the school that from the classmates they all invited were totally just happy-go-lucky people, and yeah, so it was successful. They liked the cake, loved the cupcakes that were made from scratch. Um, the cake was box mix, in which I followed directions, which is odd, but I did. And well, except for the part that I did not even out the cakes before I layered them with with frosting in between. It was 2-tier cake. Um, um, I just realized we should have cut them into cute little squares rather than those gigantic triangles.
Yeah.
But there was enough cupcakes to go around, and oddly, I did not set out the food or set up the food. This food was set out, and we brought enough stuff. We had everything except for the ice cream. I had to come back to get the ice cream. Uh, and I was an hour early in the cold and the wet. We had cold and wet in our weather.
Well, chili.
Chill. Okay. His chili, my cold. Kid, ended up asking for a sweater. So, you know, I thought all of last night. So I instead of giving you a post update last night, I thought we ate enough sugar to give ourselves a toothache, and there was lots of presents. It was happy. All the kids were happy, and they played. And my youngest made a friend with the schoolmates, and they seemed happy to play with them. It was face painting. The face painting was interesting because it was cold and wet. I was going to bring all this athletic stuff like play basketball and jump rope and chalk for skipping and doing. And I got Walmart seems to be the best price for party favors in the party aisle that at my store or at my location near my location, because I mean, like, you get like a 4-pack for like $2-3, and then there's 6 packs here, there's 8 packs there for a dollar something here and there, and we paid $10 for 100 bracelets, glow in the dark, like you snap and put them together, and we keep ours for like 100 years, and if you for want a cute little glow for like 5-10 minutes, pop them in the freezer overnight. We reuse ours just for entertainments. As the kids enjoy just wearing glow stick bracelets all day. It's like, oh, okay, why not? So that was fun. And I managed to put everything away when I got home, which was a lot of spoons. This guy's amazing. Okay. So for me, I found out with by autism, I sat down and go, when I'm touched, it kind of like, I'm wondering why it makes me feel weird. It's always been that way since my childhood. But I realized being touched for me is a task. You don't sit there and make dinner while you're in the middle of doing jumping jacks. It doesn't happen. It doesn't work. I mean, you focus on these tasks. There are certain tasks you don't mix and mingle. For me, being touched or touching somebody is a you're doing something. You're in the middle. It takes your concentration and your thought and your so yeah. And so I'm constantly aware, I'm wearing clothing. It's not like you forget you're wearing underwear because the thong is so comfortable. I mean, no, I've got a tag there, and I can feel the elastic, and I can feel it dig into my skin, and I can feel, I get itches and all that stuff. I'm very touch sensitive, temperature touch sensitive, all sorts of, and So that takes spoons and less. And so for me, I'm learning to advocate for my, mostly it's I felt so bad that I'm like, I don't want them to think for love and affection that they're the problem. I don't want to be touched because I don't have the focus, the pay attention, the I don't have the mind power to be touched or to touch somebody. And I'm like, I know I want to go cuddle my baby, but I don't the touch interaction. It's a lot because I'm aware also of the hormones that start flowing. I could be crazy. It could be all in my head. Who cares? But it's what I'm aware of. And so last night I didn't have enough to be touched. And I'm like, I'm crying because I'm like, I want to touch you, I want to cuddle you. Because for him, he gets his spoons from being touched. I spend my spoons on being touched. And, it's not them, it's me. It's totally me. But to take care of myself so that I can later on cuddle and waddle and all that other fun stuff so that they know they're being loved. And I know I get that hormone, that serotonins and all those other um dopamines and all that stuff. And like it takes 3 minutes or so. That's what they say. It varies. On average, it's about 3 minutes. But I know that that's coursing through my body. And to get to that part with the serotonin and all that stuff, I have to discipline myself. Okay, keep holding on until the hormones are being touched and then, they start flowing. And the smell and all that stuff gets going. So I'm like, I don't have the spoons to be touched. And he's like, oh, okay. I'm sitting there apologizing. I'm like, I hope I didn't hurt your feelings. And he's like, I'm fine, you're fine. Because I've explained it to him before, and now he knows. And he was just amazing. And I'm like, ah. So that was my last night. So yeah, how was your guys' night? I have to wonder. You can comment below on how your guys' night went. But yeah, so let's take a deep breath. Oh, this broom looks interesting. I had it all started. I'll start it again. I'm not too worried because I'll do it. If I did it before, I can do it again. But yeah, I don't have the spoons to sit there and worry the fact that I haven't gotten to the mess. Because then if you spend so much time worrying about the fact that you haven't gotten to the mess, you won't have the ability to get to the mess. Which people who do things normally, the way that we have things set up, probably wouldn't understand yet. But alright, this is an eye. Oh my gosh. Okay. Is that less than 9? That's less than 9. It's rubbing less. It's rubbing less. I do the head, but okay. So what last night's little cute little story about not having enough energy or focus to be touched is that we learn to advocate for our own care and our own health. And what point, I was raised that it's so endearing and sweet that we sacrifice for other people, that we take care of other people's needs before we take care of ourselves. And that has to have its pros and cons, honestly. The con is that it can cost you to start pouring from an empty cup. And with you're you don't have anything, and the cup being your abilities to do things, your ability to help, and uh, pouring means to continue to give people the care and attention and the things that you have conditioned your relationship of whatever it is, mother and child, or parent and child, or caregiver and that you care for. And when we set altars in our witchcraft, we sacrifice with, we make sure that the glass of water for the goddess, we make sure that there's offerings, we make sure that we bring all the elements. When we call them into the circle, we have the stuff that if you if you don't have water in your cup, what are they to take with that and produce? So in the old, from what I understand about alchemy, from what it's been explained to me, you have equivalent exchange. If you have to have something to produce. It's like all this. It's funny because it feels like all the stuff that was gathered in the first million years of this planet, because we were still taking on asteroids and stuff. Um, so all that stuff that was gathered seems to continuously stay in our atmosphere, minus the wonderful space astronaut explorers and space stations and trash up there. Um, it's equivalently exchanged. You burn, and the energy goes into, whether it dissipates into the air, whether it dissipates, absorbed into whatever it is, like the car to keep going. And then it keeps cycling through this volts of like electricity. Or is it currents of electricity? Is it volts? Watts? What's the correct sentence, my dear electrician?
Whatever you want it to be.
How does that make sense?
Depends on the aspect you're talking about.
Talking about transference of energy.
Yes, and it can be transferred in volts, it can be transferred in amps, and it can be transferred in watts.
This is true. Transferred in either watts, volts, or.
So, whichever one's correct, depending on how you're utilizing it.
It's true. And we are these cute little electrical beings. All right, not cute. We're, governmental forces of form. And so if you think about those and consider those, I mean, you can, depending on the culture, because there are some that, oh, this person has taken care of me, let me take care of them, and so it perpetuates. Is perpetuate a negative or a positive?
Is what?
Perpetuates? Perpetuates?
It just means to continue on.
That's what I thought. Okay.
So it's not either.
All right. So it continues, and I help you, you help me, I scratch your back, you scratch my back. I mean, those things can develop from these because you have this con in which you don't have anything to give. You don't have the time, the energy, the resources. And so they give back. Or somebody else comes along and helps you. Those are the interesting results and side effects of a culture where we give and sacrifice. And I don't go by that particular force. race or that particular way, that particular culture. If I can take care of my needs so that I'm able to take care of the kids, so that I'm able to take care of my loved ones, so that I'm able to give back to the community and to those who give to me. That is my particular method. And I'm not the only one that has this. Lots of places, lots of ways, lots of people, lots of animals, nature, plants. And so, but it's continuation of energy and resources. It seems like there's the same amount of resources as there. We don't get a lot of asteroid. Yes. Okay, so I'm getting over a migraine, and when my head can get back into it, it's not that I'm stupid. If you think that stupidity is not being able to come up with the word, all brains function differently, and that's okay. It doesn't make another person less intelligent just because I can't think of words. Recovering from a migraine makes things difficult to get the vocabulary back. It's okay. It doesn't mean that, I don't understand the concept of what I'm trying to relay. Question is, can you understand the concept of what I'm trying to relay? So the cute little story of not having spoons and him understanding. Sweets is that I want to understand for you. I want you to help to understand. It's available information. And I'm sure you will take it any which way you want to filter it or able to filter it. And this is what that means. Well, will register in your brain. And so you have the filter of what I know, how I know how to say it or describe it or info dump. And then you have your way of interpreting what it was that was info dumped. And so taking care of yourself is vitally essential. And you can start with that, and then you can build. Because if you're overwhelmed and underpaid and you've got more things stacked against you than you have resources to tackle tasks and events and impending doom of all sorts of stressful situations, what you do with that stress is your key. And taking care of yourself gives you a leveled up arsenal to take care of the stress in this world. That's why divinity is essentially important, because that is a type of self-care. I have watched all sorts of different religions, of people from different religions experiencing different rituals, experiencing, church going, people coming out of mosque or temple, they had a great day and they're energized by it. Having that with people of like interests or shared or feelings or beliefs is an extremely powerful fuel source of lighting up your soul and your spirit. And it's this wonderful result, as well as it can be potentially harmful if you're not careful. So that's why I speak carefully. That's why I'm trying to choose my words carefully. Because when we get into religion on Sundays, it's extremely powerful as it is dangerous and helpful. It has its pros and it has its cons. Because the way you take it and what you do with it is your power. And my deliverance is also my responsibility. And these powerful souls that we all have that are interconnected to each other and all things and all life and all divinity. And this divinity, this power, that is ours. And it's yours. And you all deserve it. even if we don't like you. Even if we love you and don't like you, all the same. It's yours. I mean, I love my kids, not to be loved back, but to love them simply for who they are, for what they are. Just to be, I love them. They're my little people who are growing, who are developing in this world, who are evolving and experiencing. And I've taken on the role of providing the environment and granting access to tools, striving to make sure that they have access to tools that help them do their design, their wish, their desire, their calling, for all things small and all things great and powerful in their life, extremely powerful in their life. And that is a role that best suits for my loved ones. And hearing this, you may try it, you may want to enjoy it, and you're welcome to take on the role of a person who provides their children with environments for them to foster their thriving, not just surviving. Or you could take it on as a role. I am their great teacher. I've taught them everything I know. They're my legacy. I mean, it evolves. It goes from person to person, experience to experience. And that's the fun part about this life, is that we have this shared experience on this planet and our particular universe. Our aspect of things. I like that word. I've made that word up. If you want to use it, go for it. Let's get it into the English dictionary. Why not? Aspect of things means anywhere from all the way from space on the way down to, all the way back from here. The way everything is put into perspective, all the way from space all the way to this moment, place and time. Time is relative, so is space, because we're still living in an ever expanding universe. So yeah, if you look at these and trying to replicate in exact replication, you end up with less result, or like a dying clone. But if you put an offset of something, if something is slightly different, it seems that our particular dimension, universe, our particular existence in this particular here and now does not seem to support exact duplication. There's always something different, even if its existence is in a slightly different space right next to it. So therefore, that in its existence is different. The fact that my experience in life comes from my particular height to somebody who's 6 foot tall, and the way the world approaches them as they approach the world, as they see the world, as the world sees them. The difference. As somebody who has more frequent gastral anomalies, versus somebody who may have less, different gut structure. The world, what builds on those experiences and comes thereafter consequentially and perpetuates how it's happened. So there's a constant dialogue for ourselves. And when we take care of ourselves, we take care of who and what we are. And I like to start spiritually. For me, that works, that resonates, and that's my powerhouse. That is so deep. And for me, I don't see anything but benefit for people to go, well, if you start spiritually working on yourself, everything else will fall into place. I've run into situations where somebody will think that the one thing that worked for them will work for everybody. So me knowing that it happens to other people and it's probably happened to me means that I know that spiritually won't work for everybody. Working on your spiritual self first before you work on your physical health or your mental health or your, this one elemental change in your entire life. I mean, I have to accept the differences and embrace them in order for me to keep moving forward. If I don't, I don't have to, but the results would be vastly different and I may not be satisfied with those results. Would you be satisfied with those results? Knowing yourself is this huge journey. For me, learning myself spiritually has been my most benefit, has been what's worked for me. So if you quest out an experience after watching this video and wanting to learn about spirituality with the wisdom of a wise one, your homework, your assignment, or your quest would be to learn yourself and go from there. Learn about yourself, learn about your spirituality. It doesn't have to be an identity marker, but it is a great empowering tool that allows you to navigate your experiences. And for those who have a wonderful environment where they have some quiet time to reflect, to light a candle, do a spell, to consult cards, derivation, divinity, understand, looking into the divine. That is my Sunday lecture. Self-care. And take one approaching the wise one way. To work in and to check the results for yourself of understanding your spirituality and your spiritual health as a corner point or a cornerstone in your and learning yourself, being a healthy self, and filling your cup so that you can give to others should they need it. And yeah, that is my Sunday story. My priestess. And I'm glad if you had a chance to stop driving it. And I dearly love you all. Anywhere in the world you are. Or space. This would be epic if it reached, astronauts. I highly doubt it. My 20 subscribers are not watching. And nobody else is watching. So in the ether, yeah. But I love you guys. Love you. Love you. You guys have a wonderful time. And until the next video, we see each other again. You have a blessed time.